At this point, Olama was sitting static on her stool, her eyes looking white. Obianuju nodded quietly and then dipped her finger in the Nzu paste in a calabash before her and drew a half moon under her right eye and Olama's right eye. Then she jingled the wind chimes on her priestess staff of office. I'm sorry for your loss and all the pain you had to bear. I also apologize for the trouble my ill thought out action may have caused you. But there is one thing you must tell me. Anything, my priestess, Olama responded. Why didn't you consult the seer? That may have averted your trouble, Obianuju continued. I did, after my parents died, but she said the deal was done and there was nothing she could do about it. And when the bleeders came for me, first I fled to the seer, but instead of securing my life, she handed me over to them. Obianuju began to sing in veneration of the gods, and as she went about completing the rituals at the shrine, Olama's iris became visible again. Olama looked around her environment. The priestess Hila was standing beside her holding a calabash bowl with a tonic in it. She stretched her back and wondered how long she had been sitting in that position. The sun was almost overhead. She turned and looked at Obianuju. Drink this, Obianuju said. It will make you feel better. Without any questions, Olama took the bowl from Obianuju and drank the contents. Obianuju was right. It did make her feel better. She was unsure what would become of her now. At least she knew she must have confessed everything in her trance. As if she read her mind, Obianuju spoke before she could ask. Go home to your husband, and may the gods of our land protect you both and give you an heir as you have desired. Olama stood, bowed in gratitude and went home. That evening when she slept, for the first time in over 10 years, the dark creature sent by the goddess did not haunt her dreams, nor did she receive any summons from the kingdom beneath the waters of Mpimpi. The next day, as Olama went to her salon, she was alone and scared. Her spirit friends had left her. The two ladies who accompanied her have gone away. The powers of the goddess of River Mpimpi no longer held her. Even the marks of the goddess on her back had disappeared. She no longer dreaded the threats of the Seer of Umuadi. She was happy, grateful, but scared. She was unsure how to maintain her salon. She was certain she would no longer be able to braid with such astonishing speed and precision. She pondered how she would break the news to her customers, some of whom had become friends. She considered leaving Umuadi again, but what reason would she give Okonta, her husband? First, she must buy a bag. She may just have to pack her stuff and close the salon down for good. So she turned left and headed to the market. At the market, while she was in Mama Nkechi's shop, picking out the bags she would need, some women gossiped about the showdown in the palace the previous evening. The Princess Hila had visited the village head and requested an emergency convergence of the elders. This is usually a rare occurrence. The village head obliged her and all the elders gathered. There, she broke the news of the betrayal of the land committed by the seer. Everyone knew the consequence of such an action. While they spoke, the seer arrived, furious that she was not invited to the meeting as is tradition. She cursed at the priestess Hila and the village head for daring to disrespect her that much. Without any need for a trial, she had unwittingly confirmed the things the priestess Hila had just told the council. The priestess Hila simply looked at her and said, Mawai, return your staff of office to the ultimate shrine before sundown tomorrow, with the materials needed to sanctify the land. You must also leave Umuadi before the next Ike market day. Remember that today is Ore market day, which gives you a little more than 2 days. One of the women mimicked. The seer fumed. How dare you call me by name? Do you know who I am? Do you understand the powers I represent? The princess Hila jingled the wind chimes on her staff. Leave, or face more dire consequence. Your choice. Then the seer roared. I will show you, Obianuju, that you are nobody. Umuadi is my territory to rule and not yours. Since Akuna could not kill you, I would have to do it myself. So you admit that Olama is Akuna. Well, she's just Olama now. You no longer have any rule over her, and Umuadi is for the gods. I guess it is correct to say you lost, Mawai, the priestess healer said. At this, the seer fumed and conjured a whirlwind and channeled it towards the cancer and the priestess healer. The priestess healer looked up to the sky. Gods of Umuadi, you have been challenged by this mortal. Deal as you see fit. She then stomped her staff on the ground loudly, and the whirlwind stood still, towering high. She stomped the staff again, and the whirlwind changed direction and headed for the seer. She tried to run, but was caught in the wind in full force. She stomped the staff the third time, and the whirlwind tore the seer limb from limb, and her pieces littered the palace. The guards gathered the remains and burnt them to ashes. The priestess healer stood. Hail the gods of Umuadi, she said, and walked away. Later that morning, Olama arrived at her salon with her bags ready to gather her things. She knew that whatever her decision, she was safe and could live a normal life. That alone made her grateful. As she began gathering her personal belongings, she heard the familiar chime that used to infuriate and scare her. But today, it excited her and made her smile. My priestess, she greeted with a bow and smiled broadly. Obianuju raised her staff. May the gods keep you, she prayed. What brings you to my humble salon today? Olama asked. I may be the priestess healer, but I sure love looking good, and the gods do not object. Obianuju responded. Olama laughed. You have a good sense of humor, my priestess, but I don't think I qualify to braid your hair anymore. Also, I'm afraid I have lost my gift, Olama said humbly. Before you pack up your stuff, why don't you test your theory on my hair? I insist, fast or slow, you must braid my hair today. As you wish, my priestess, Olama agreed and offered Obianuju a seat. She was scared and unsure of herself, but the priestess healer has commanded. Who is she, a humble citizen of Umuadi, to refuse? As she dipped the comb in Obianuju's hair, her doubts began to dissipate. She picked the first few strands of hair and her fingers began moving. And before her very eyes, they worked just as fast as they did before. And the beauty of the hair was just as neat and precise as always. Obianuju waved her friends in. Ngozi and Ebube walked in with a huge mirror and placed it before the priestess healer. Olama, scared at the sight of the mirror, relaxed as she noticed Obianuju's smile. Shortly, she was done with the braids. Thank you, the Spirit Weaver of Umuadi, Obianuju said. What did you call me? The Spirit Weaver of Umuadi, Ebube and Ngozi echoed. Yes, what they said. Obianuju responded to the confused Olama before her. The goddess of Mpempe River did not give you your gifts. The gods of Umuadi did. The seer saw the gift and exploited it, and the pact your parents made, though in ignorance, set you on the path you have walked until yesterday. Now you are free, and the gods of Umuadi can use your skills as they intended. What? Olama asked, overjoyed at the news. Can the gods still use me? You shall resume your training in 8 market days, and after the initial ceremonies, you shall accompany me every Eke market day. With that, Obianuju stood and left the salon with her friends.